Hello again. Welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Stacia. So since the last episode, I have been running our RF Tools control just like we did in the last episode, and I've been running through a bunch of dimensions. So we have diamond, iron, emerald, nickel, and so on. A large variety here. There was a couple that I had to do slightly different things, like with the Electrum world, I had to do a single biome plains because it spawned me into a corrupted forest or something. It was like this purple biome, and I was only able to see it for a second because it crashed me. It crashed the server, and anytime I tried to log on, it would crash the server. So ended up having to do a plains biome and had to get Sphere to warp me to edit my my player data and get me out of that world because it just crashed the server anytime I went in. Lapis, that world is kind of bad to enter right now because it was an ocean, and where I was mining, there's lots of flowing water, so the FPS is really, really bad in that dimension. So if I need to mine more lapis, I will just probably make a new lapis world. And also uranium, due to, if we take a look inside of here, blocks of uranium, we can only get these with immersive engineering or mechanism. And both of those uraniums, if we take a look, they don't even show up in here. And if we take a look at this, we can only convert Emendatus Enigmatica uranium into ingots. So that good old Emendatus Enigmatica mod at work to where we can't actually use those blocks. So what I had to do was I had to run an ore dictificator, ran to change all uranium into Emendatus Enigmatica uranium. So basically the builder would then just send it into the ore dictificator, and then that would send it to our storage. And other than that, everything was pretty smooth. Those are the only ones that I had any real issue with while running through these worlds. And if we take a look here, we now have all the singularities -2. So we have 65 of all of these. The only ones that we are currently missing is platinum and aluminum, because you cannot create worlds of aluminum blocks or worlds of platinum blocks. So those are the only two that we are currently missing, and we are going to be solving that pretty easily today using some tinkers to do that. And this should be done. Let me go ahead and toss that other grout into there. I've been doing a little bit of building, starting to bring some of this up and towards the center, and working on kind of starting to wrap up some of the build. But what we are going to do, first and foremost, we're going to do a little bit of tinkers today. I know at this point there will have been some tinkers episodes for all the mods. We're not going to be doing much tinkers. It's going to be very, very minimal as far as what we're going to do. So we are going to start off getting ourselves a seared heater, and we are going to get a melter, and we are going to get a casting basin. And I guess for this, we're probably just going to go with the seared controller. And actually, while we're at it, let's go ahead and get ourselves a few of these, like 8, 10. Let's go 10. And then let's also get a fluid placer as well. And you'll notice that inside of our AE2 system, we have 520,000 of all these different things. And if we pop down, I just want to show you this real quick. A lot of these I let run until they were filled. Some of them I didn't, but a lot of these I did. So if you take a look, bronze is almost filled. And there's 3 million blocks or 28 million ingots for that. So you can see uranium, iron. Not as much iron, I guess, but that's okay. Lead. I guess I've used probably a bit of iron, but I probably didn't mine it for as long. I did discover that the builders would shut off anytime the server restarted, so I'd have to go back in there if I wanted to restart them. Generally, I didn't restart them. Generally, I just let them, I changed them out, you know. Also, sponges. I got lucky, actually. My lapis world, something I should mention here, my lapis world has big blocks of floating sponges. Big, massive blocks of floating sponges is actually the terrain that it got. It's like an ocean with big floating sponges. So that is actually where I got most of my sponges from. So kind of worked out there. And then I also tackled 2 additional Guardian Temples just to get some more sponges until I got to the Lapis world, which had all the sponges. So, and there is our fluid placer. And then to get there's a couple things that we're going to need for our Tinker stuff. The Smeltery controller, that's 4 copper. Let's get our seared bricks. Let's get a couple pieces of gold. Actually, one piece should be good. Let's go ahead and get a seared casting table. And then let's go ahead and get ourselves 4 ender tanks. And we'll dye them here in a second. And I really don't need these ender chests at the moment. Okay, so what we're going to do is, and let's get a thing of coal also. And we're just going to put this in over here. This is going to be where our Tinker stuff goes. Let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and get a few seared bricks for starters. Because we are going to have a smeltery over here, and I'm thinking it's going to span that. We are going to be using this for some automation. We'll probably go ahead and set it up today, so we're just going to run it like that. And then we'll just build that up. And we'll come back to this here in a moment. And then for right now, we're going to be using our seared heater and melter. We're not going to be using this for very long. So we'll just set that up right there. Let me get some fluid pipes. And then we're going to take our casting basin, toss that down right here. And then we're just going to run a fluid pipe out. Let's go ahead. Really, I'm only going to need like a couple of these. We'll toss that in, get that copper smelting up. And we're not going to be doing a whole lot with Tinkers. We're not going to be making tools or anything. We made some tools in ATM, so if you're interested in Tinkers, you can find that there. To get the Smeltery controller, that is the seared heater. Let's go ahead and pull that up. Oops. We're going to go ahead and take this, toss it in, and then extract the fluid from this, dump it into there, and that is going to turn into our, right, it was, yeah, it was 4 ingots of copper. Yeah, there's our Smeltery controller. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just toss that down, and we're done with the melter now. And then we'll go ahead. Now, there's other ways that we can do what we're about to do, but we're going to go with Tinkers because we're actually going to need this for some automation in the coming episodes, which we're probably going to go ahead and set up for today, I think, because I think we should have time. But let's go ahead and take our seared bricks, like that. Let's get some more grout. Now, bear in mind, you can make the seared bricks through the smeltery as well, but grout, we pretty much have infinite materials, so I don't mind just making grout and smelting it up, to be honest. So we're going to go ahead and just run this back. Probably just all the way back. Make a pretty decent sized smeltery, I think. So it's going to end up being a 3x7. And that should be good. And actually, let's get another ender tank, and we're going to make one orange, yellow, red. And right now, there's not a whole lot of lava in the system. This is actually struggling on some blaze powder because I just actually set up a blaze powder disc, which is running. And so we probably won't get our lava to start from that, but after this runs for a little bit, we should get our lava from this, from the system. Now, let's go ahead and let's get ourselves a seared, we'll just go with a seared fuel tank. And then let's get ourselves a drain. Honestly, just a normal seared drain should be fine. I don't think we'll need to do a filtered one. And then let's go ahead and get a seared chute, because I think we're going to be using that. And beyond that, I don't think that there's anything that we're going to be needing for this. So let's just pop back down. And I think we're going to put a seared drain setting here, a seared chute setting right here. I think is how I want to do it. And then we'll just run this through, and right back in here, we're going to put our seared fuel tank in right there, I think. And then we're going to put in our ender tank that will eventually be feeding this right here, and we're going to set it to output. Oh yeah, and diamond. I need a diamond on that. Okay, so there's our diamond. So this should be able to get lava. Like right now, it's not going to be getting a lot, but it may still trickle some into the seared fuel tank. We'll see. And then we're going to go ahead and just build that up. That should, well, once we build the floor, that's going to turn on the smeltery. And I'm going to need a few more seared bricks. Then we'll just place these out and we should have a smeltery. And that's going to be most of the tinker stuff that we're going to be doing for the most part this episode. So there we go. There's our smeltery. We will build this up a little bit more. Basically just for more size. As much as we can at the moment, but honestly, 4 high is probably going to be more than enough for us. Okay, now what we need to do is we're going to take some aluminum and we're going to go ahead and make a few blocks of this. It's going to be, I think it's like 1,200 per block, right? If we were to melt this down, one block is 1 bucket and 296 millibuckets. Yeah, so almost 1,300 millibuckets. So we're going to start off with 3 stacks. It's going to be, basically we need 256 buckets of liquid aluminum for what we're going to be doing. So let's go ahead, toss that in, and I can toss in just a little bit more because we built it a little bit bigger. So we can do a stack in 20 with the current size. Now, what we are going to do, actually, I'll tell you what, just to give us access for this, let's do it here. Yeah, because that's no longer needed there. We'll put the seared fuel tank over on this side and put that in so you can output. Because right now we're going to have to put some lava in there, kind of manually. But once that tank actually starts filling back up, it'll come in automatically. So let's go ahead and get ourselves Singularity tank will be good. So we'll just pop down. We could use the builder for this, or we could just manually do it. I'm probably going to go ahead and just use the builder. We'll set that in. That. We aren't going to need that stuff. Let's toss in the ender sail, and let's take a shape card, clearing pump, and we're going to say go from here down to like there. And we'll go ahead and toss that in and go ahead and activate that. And this is going to start filling up with lava. There we go. Okay, so we'll just turn that off now. We don't need this anymore at the moment. And this is probably going to be enough lava for what we're going to be doing today, I imagine. So let's just put in that there, and we'll just run a fluid pipe up and allow this then to feed into the seared fuel tank. So that's going to start running. That is going to start melting. And then let's go ahead. Let's actually grab a jumbo singularity tank. Actually, 2 of them would be ideal. And let's get our 2 jumbo tanks. And what we're going to do right now is go ahead and pump this out. Actually, I guess I don't even need the jumbo tank, right? I'll just set the fluid placer up right here. And then we'll just toss a couple blocks around that. And then let's go ahead and just run the liquid fluid, the molten aluminum, down. We didn't store it all. We're going to run it down to the fluid placer. And we're going to say always on. And let's go ahead, like that. And that's going to start placing our liquid aluminum. Okay, now at this point, what we need to do is just like when we were handling solid blocks. For this, if we take a look at the dimlet workbench and we take a look at, say, aluminum, there is no aluminum blocks. There's only molten aluminum from Tinkers. And then if we take a look, which actually, is this, what rarity is this? It's common, but it takes some uncommon stuff there, or rare stuff. And the same is true with platinum. There is no blocks of platinum, but we can get the molten platinum from Tinkers. So we're going to just make fluid blocks. So let's make ourselves a fluid absorber. And we're going to need slime blocks. These actually take a minute to craft up, but we're going to need 8 of these. Go ahead and get cracking. And let me go ahead and order like 50 more dimensional shards. And I guess since this is just hanging out, let's go ahead and just attach a jumbo tank on here. That way we can start just pumping that aluminum into here. And that way we can go ahead and get all this stuff smelted up right now. It's not super fast, but we are going to be using some faster ones today. But I think these should actually be sufficient for our tinker setup itself. And while I'm at it, let me go ahead and order 2 of these and 2 of these. And I'm also going to need empty fluid dimlet. I'm going to need 2 of these. So let's get our fluid absorbers. We're going to be going with 2 of these. There's that. We're going to get our 2 common energy modules and common memory modules. And we'll come back over to this in just a moment. And then let's go ahead and take these dimensional shards and these rare dimensional essences. And let's go ahead and get a stack of the dimensional essence. Oh, we got some blood in here. I need to put a top on this. That's fine. We'll deal with the blood. We'll put a top over it and everything. But we're going to get the rest of that melted up. And then let's go ahead at this point and put in our fluid absorber right here. And that's going to start grabbing the molten aluminum. And the placer is going to keep placing molten aluminum. And then let's go ahead, do that. And go ahead and start feeding all the molten aluminum that you can into this fluid absorber. Which actually, for right now, I'm going to go ahead and let this tank get some of it. Yeah, because these are going to stop up here in just a second. Okay, now while that's running, let's go ahead, let's pop over. Because in order to do our automation for this, we're actually going to have to do just a slight amount of tinkers. Let's go ahead and pull up tinkers. Let's get ourselves a few patterns. And let's get ourselves I really don't need a tinker station. That's only if we're going to actually make things. I think I'll have to make one for a quest at some point. But let's go ahead and get ourselves a part builder. And we are going to make ourselves a cast that we're going to make use of later. I think we'll just put it right here. Throw that in, and let's get ourselves a large plate. Just one of these. And once this finishes running, then we will actually cast our plate with some gold. But I kind of have to wait for this at the moment. It'll take a little bit. I could speed this up, though. Let's just get ourselves an advanced pipe upgrade. And we'll just toss that in. There we go. That has probably cleaned this out for us. Yes, it has. And I think that has a little bit of blood in it. We don't want blood in it. So let's go ahead. We'll just pull this up for just a moment. Put it back. Let's move the jumbo tank over to here. The blood is now gone from it. And we'll just pipe out here with the advanced pipe upgrade. Okay, so to get our cast, we're just going to take this, set that down. Let's just put this on here. It doesn't need to be fast right now. And then let's go ahead, toss in our gold, and we're going to put our large plate in right there. And what we're going to be doing with this is if you take a look at the tier installers, we won't need this really today. But to get the basic tier installer, it requires that we get slime wood large plates, which also requires wood large plates. There's not really a way to automate this, though, is there? I don't think that there is. I think we'll just have to make these in mass. And then the upgrade bases also, they require the Tinker's Bronze large plates. So we are going to have to make these as well. So we're going to be setting up for that. For the bronze plates, we are going to be using this cast. For the wood ones, we're just going to be using wood large plates. But let's go ahead. Let's break that off. Actually, I might use some filtered drains, maybe, for that. But we'll come back to that here shortly. Okay, so this is 96% on the molten aluminum. Okay, yeah. We're just a little bit short. So let's pop back up. And we'll get like, say, 10. That should be more than enough, I think. And this is where the seeds came in handy because it gave us enough aluminum and I think enough platinum for what we're going to be doing today. Let's toss in, well, we'll start with 4 and see where that gets us. Let's go 5 because I know we're going to need at least 5 for this. Okay, how are we doing? 99%. The last one is wrapping up. We're still 99%. Okay, so let's toss in, let's just toss in another one. I don't mind if I end up with a little bit extra. 100%. Perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead, grab that. Let's fill that in because I don't want that. Grab that. We're going to put our fluid placer back down. And we used 3 stacks and 6 of the platinums, or the aluminum. So now let's do the same thing but with platinum. And this one we can kind of just let run. And at this point, I hadn't added aluminum to the system because I could actually run aluminum singularities. I didn't want to use up a bunch of my aluminum right now. But now at this point we can start running aluminum through this. So we'll go ahead and just add that in. And that could start making us some aluminum singularities. It's going to be able to make a bunch here in just a moment though. And we'll go ahead and start feeding this platinum in. So platinum, platinum. And we're going to go ahead and take this empty fluid absorber and put that right over that. Let me get a hopper. And we'll just attach that to the seared chute. That way it can feed in this platinum as it finishes this off. And we can just kind of let that run for a minute here. Okay, so now what I would like to do is let's pop over. We are going to need a couple things here. First up, let's make... I'm going to have to make a couple more of these as well. I didn't really make enough. But our empty fluid dimlet... I always hate trying to put these things in there. You can't just click them in. You have to shift them in for the fluid dimlet. You can also, if you pull up, say, like aluminum, what you can do is you can also just double click like that. And it's going to put everything that it needs in there. Does it not need these? Create. It does. Oh, it's rare. I'm sorry. I must have been looking at something else. This one is rare, so we are going to have to do a little bit better there. Let's go with rare. I'm missing the rare dimensional shard essence. That's fine. Let's get... Well, we'll start with 1, and then we'll probably have to order another one, I think. I imagine the platinum's going to be rare as well. Also, while we're here, let's go ahead, set these out. And then we're going to go ahead and diamond lock these also. And I'm going to take 1 set of these for right now. This one. Well, actually, I've got the space. We'll just take both sets. Okay, so now let's pop back over. Toss these in, and we're going to create... There we go. Okay. Oh, I must have put one of those in there. Never mind. Okay, so molten aluminum, Tinker's Construct, dimlet, fluid dimlet. Alright, now let's go with normal terrain is fine. And I am going to need a couple terrain dimlets. Now, I believe we will probably want an ocean biome, but let's see what we get. Oh, and I need an empty dimension. But we're going to see what we get, and we may not have to do anything special for this. But let's get our dimension tab. Because bear in mind that we can always just empty it out and then change the dimlets and then just reinstall it. It doesn't waste anything if we just make one right now. So we're going to go with a fluid dimlet, terrain dimlet, and we're going to say this is going to be aluminum world and store. And let's see what we get. Let's put it into the dimension builder. There we go. How much is this? 233 RF per tick. Alright. So let's go ahead. Our aluminum world, let's dial it. And let's step in. See what we ended up with. Okay, yeah. We'll probably want an ocean for this, I imagine. Basically, right now, as it stands, the water that exist within this world. I've noticed these RF tools dimensions take forever to render. But any place like right here, there's some fluid. You can see that's molten aluminum. But we would do a lot better if we had an ocean biome, single biome. So let's just warp on home and let's pull that out. Let's break it down because I think we're just going to make 2 single ocean biomes. I think it'll work out better for us. So let's just take that, toss that into there and say extract. Okay, so let's get ourselves biome absorber and biome absorber. Yeah, we don't need slime for that. That's okay. Doesn't matter. These are lukewarm oceans. We just want to go with lukewarm oceans. Let's make sure that we can create that. Yeah, lukewarm ocean. Perfect. Okay, so we're just going to take and we're going to set these down right there. And these take a little while to run. They just have to sit inside the biome that you want. So you can see that one's went up to 1%. So at this point, we just kind of have to let that run for just a little bit. And then what do we need to make single? That's common. We're going to need 1 redstone. Okay, so let's get that. And let me also order another, say, 40 dimensional shards. And our single biome type, we're going to go ahead and just make that. And then make 1 more. So we'll go ahead and grab those. There's our lukewarm oceans. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take, the order doesn't matter so much with these. We're going to throw in our biome controller and our biome dimlet. And then we're going to say aluminum ocean. Let's store that. Drop it into the dimension builder. So aluminum ocean, we're going to go ahead and dial that. And we're going to step in. There we go. We have a world filled with nothing but aluminum. Let's take and set down our builder. And let's go ahead, take our clearing pump. We're going to shift right click there. And let's come out of visual range a good ways before we set our first corner. So let's say right here, just dig down. There we go. Let's go ahead, put our shape card into there. And just to make sure that everything works out well, because I did notice some water spawning in those worlds, which will happen, let's go ahead, get ourselves a bucket of lava, and we're going to get a bucket of water. Chances are we're not going to come across any fluids except for water and lava. We're going to have a jumbo tank on top of this. And at this point, we can tell this to go ahead and start pumping. And so you can see it's getting that molten aluminum. It's filling up that jumbo tank excessively fast. And what we are going to do is we're going to put in a liquid trash can. Let's actually just put this right there. We're going to put in a liquid trash can here. And inside this liquid trash can, we're going to say whitelist. And you could take water. You could take lava. And we're going to put in an ender tank. This is going to be on the blue cyan blue channel. And before we do that, let's go ahead, set this to extract. We are going to put an advanced pipe upgrade. We're going to say nearest first, because then we shouldn't have to filter the ender tank. And then we're going to put in our ender tank right there. That's going to start getting that molten aluminum. Make sure everything is within the same chunk. Usually these dimensional blank block areas will spawn all in the same chunk, so we should be good. And we're just going to let that run. So let's go ahead and warp home. And we're going to handle the output for this. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up our casting basins. And they're going to go, let's just put them in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll bring back a little area from there. But we're going to put in fluid pipes here. Oh, right there. Like that. We'll go ahead and set up another little area. And we can expand this out if we need to. If we find that it's not fast enough, which it very well might not be fast enough for our needs, because it's going to be 5 blocks every few seconds. So we might expand this out. But we're going to put that there. We are going to wrench that, toss in that, and that's going to start making us blocks of molten aluminum. And we're going to run some connectors underneath these casting basins, these casting basins. We could also have them pump out to just a chest and just have one connector, but honestly, this is perfectly fine for us. So we're going to run that through right over there as a connection. So we'll just plug that up. There we go. And then let's pop upstairs. This is almost all set up. And we are going to say the insert line for the controllers is on channel 6. So we're going to allow this then to extract. It can be single, every 20 is fine. And we're going to go down through here and just paste that. So you can see this is hardening right now. And those blocks are getting pulled out. Yeah, these take a little while to harden. So we may want to speed this up, but we'll see. Once again, I mean, this is on a server, so I don't have to worry too much about just making it crazy fast. And yeah, this jumbo tank is filled, so even if the server does shut down, it's still going to have, 1,000 blocks, basically, that it can make, which isn't that much, really. So that one's running. Now we just have to get platinum running, which will run through a separate ender tank. Basically, I just need to go hunt down another slime, maybe 2, to get the other, 7 rare dimensional essence that we need. And by the way, Diamond Isles is still my choice place for hunting the rare blobs. But there we go. There is our molten platinum dimlet. And we're going to make our terrain biome controller and platinum ocean dimension. There we go. Our platinum dimension actually is filled with blocks of night slime. So if we find that we need blocks of night slime for something, I don't foresee it, but if we do find that we need them, we have pink glow panels and night slime aplenty. Okay, and for our smeltery automation, to make our large plates, because we are going to be needing those, I did go ahead and I made a few more casting tables. Whoops. A few more casting tables. And we're going to pop it to the nether, because something that we've never mined before is cobalt. And I think I'd like to make filtered drains today, because I think that's just going to be a rather easy way to handle this, I think. But we're going to have to go out a little ways, because remember, our world was made before Tinkers was in the pack. I don't exactly know how far out we're going to have to go. Okay, this right here is perfect. We're going to go ahead and take that. Take that. 2 ingots should actually be plenty. I'm not sure if we can run this through mechanism. We cannot. But that's okay. We do have this arc furnace hanging out that we haven't really used. It did finally get fixed, but it was kind of at a point when we no longer really needed it, so we haven't really used it much. But there we go. There is our cobalt. And we probably won't need any more cobalt for the rest of the series. But let's go ahead and get ourselves 2 seared ducks. And then our copper cans, let's get a thing of those. I'm actually only going to need 2 of these. But let's go ahead, let's make a processing pattern and say that if you send 4 slime balls, you're going to get something. Let me go ahead and order 4 of these. Right down here, we are going to open this up slightly. We're going to do that. We are going to put in our 2 seared ducks right there. And actually, let me get 1 regular duct for just a moment. We're going to go ahead and put a drain in right here. And let's set our casting table in. Put a fluid pipe for just a moment. Let's put that in. And then let's take our copper can and let's just put that in. 1 slime ball was enough to fill a copper can. So we're going to put that into this duct. And then we're going to do the same thing here in a second for bronze, which we'll get to that. But then what we're going to do is just run out this. And before we get started, let's do our pipes. We're going to set those there. And I just want to disconnect these because I don't want them connecting over to this platinum system. And you can see I have expanded to 15 casting basins because it will just be better for us. And then let's go ahead and disconnect all of these pipes as well. We only want these to run down here and these to run down here. And then we'll just put in our other, well, one of our seared casting tables. We're going to use the other one in just a moment. And let's take and put in an interface setting here, and this interface is going to face in that direction, so it can feed items into the seared chute. And then what we're going to do is right here, let's put a advanced upgrade onto this, and we're going to say nearest first. Well, actually, I'll tell you what. Let's put that copper can on this one, I think. Because what I'd like to do is, let's just put some item pipes right there, disconnect that. What we're going to do, since we can't automate the wooden plates, we're just going to put a diamond storage crate right in there. And this is going to be able to extract, and we're going to put in, let's come over, toss in that. Let's get a, oh, that sound was beautiful. Let's get a stack of the wooden large plates. Honestly, a stack is probably going to be sufficient for us. Maybe two, but this is something, I mean, it's not something that we're going to really need to do much with. And that's going to pump our large plates into here. Because these large plates then will have to have the slime poured over them to make the slime wood. And we're going to go ahead and pop down right here. We're going to disconnect that. And we are going to run ourselves a few item pipes, and these are going to handle the extraction from the casting tables that are going to be here. And then let's go ahead and run this out. Don't want it to connect there or there. I actually don't want those large plates into that. And we're just going to run this over right here. Okay, and it's the Tinker's Bronze large plate that we need for the upgrade bases, not normal bronze. And that's actually kind of important for us because this is going to be a combination of glass and copper. So 1 block of glass and 3 ingots of copper to 3 ingots of molten Tinker's Bronze. Let's go ahead and get our copper can. There's our Tinker's Bronze. So let's say that you can extract, and then we're just going to break that off. Grab that, and then we'll go ahead and set that table in so that you can extract. You don't connect on the east. And we're going to put this into there. Everything here is filtered. We just have to set up the recipes now. So slime can only come out this side. Molten Tinker's Bronze can come out this side. And I don't know, I could leave the Tinker's Bronze. It's not really that important, I guess, that we take it out. Put that in. We're going to say nearest first. And we should be good to go. So if we throw in the slime balls, these are going to melt down. And we should see the slime come out right there. And it's going to make that slime large plate. Just takes a second, and then it gets pulled out and sent to the interface, and then a new large plate comes in. Perfect. Okay, so we'll just set up the recipe, but we're going to go ahead and make the pattern for that. So there's how to make slime wood large plates. And then for the Tinker's Bronze ones, these are going to be 4 ingots per. This makes 3 per alloy, correct? Yeah. We're going to set this to, say, 12. 4 pieces of glass. And this is going to make you 3 of these. We're going to make 3 at a time with the Tinker's Bronze, just because the math works out better for us. So that's how we're going to handle that. We could do that with the slime, too, and honestly, we might. We'll see. But let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and get that running. There's how to make the bronze large plates. Remember, it has to be the Tinker's Bronze. We can't just melt down bronze. And then our slime wood large plates. And we're going to dump these into the interface. So for our large plates, you can see that that's craftable. That's craftable. If we ordered, say, 4 of these, it's going to order them. And what's nice about the bronze plates anyways is we're going to be needing them 2 at a time for the craft. So it making a few extra, it's not a problem. But you can see the slime balls, as they get crafted, as batches of 4 get crafted, they get sent over to here, and they're going to get dumped into this. It's going to make the plate for us. There's another plate being made. There we go. That gets pumped out. A new plate comes in. That goes out. And so on. And we now have 4, 5 Slimewood large plates. Because we're going to need that come next episode. So, but anyways, I know with that, it's about wrapping up point for this episode. If we take a look over here, let's just make sure that we are getting some singularities at this point. We should be. We have 7 aluminum singularities and 1 platinum singularity. So we can actually make our very first ultimate singularity if we wanted to. But I'm going to let this run for a little bit longer so that we can make a stack and 1 all at the same time, I think. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.